All right. Welcome back to the Built to Grow podcast. I am your host, Tim Lyons, in the studio, joined by Randy Angston. What's up, man?
Everyone could probably spell it after that one.
Randy Angston.
Enunciation.
Quick announcement, everybody. If you are a gym owner, I'm assuming you are because you're listening to the Built to Grow podcast, which is a fitness business podcast. If you are a gym owner and you'd like to kind of connect with other gym owners, we have a Facebook group. We haven't talked about it in a while. It is the Business Talk with Fitness Professionals. Go ahead and join there. You must be a gym owner. So we screen all those entries. But if you want to jump in there, kind of talk about what's the latest and greatest, ask questions, tell people what's working, what's not working, and get advice from the global community. We have over 1,000 gym owners in there, and it's really good. I mean, a lot of chatter, a lot of helpful people jumping in and helping people. So Facebook, Business Talk with Fitness Professionals.
Correct.
Cool. All right. So, hey guys, this episode is called The End Game. And the reason we're bringing this up is because, we talk to gym owners weekly, daily, all the time. And, it's one of the biggest questions is like, what are you doing with your fitness business? What is the goal? What is the end goal? And a lot of gym owners just don't know the answer. And it's not maybe that they purposefully don't know the answer, just haven't thought about it. It's like, well, yeah, I'm trying to get my gym better, but like, why? Right.
Yeah.
And like, what's the reason why? Like, what are you going to do with this?
I think a lot of them even got into the position almost by accident, right? It was the natural progression. You were a great trainer quite often they're a phenomenal trainer. And the next natural progression is to open up your own gym. Mm-hmm. But now that you've done that, like your whole job changes, like everything changes. It's not just about the client's results. It's about a P&L. It's about your employees. There's a whole
set of skills.
Exactly. Like the entire game changed. And I think that initially a lot of them are in that position and they're like, holy crap, how did I get here? Like, what do I even do?
Right. You find yourself in this position. So I think the best way to start this show off is kind of go back to our friend Robert Kiyosaki and the Cash Flow Quadrant. It's a great book. Anyways, it changed my perspective on everything, really. I mean, if you haven't read it, it's such an easy read. It's basically 4 quadrants. So if you're just draw a cross on a piece of paper, they've got 4 quadrants in here. And really the whole premise around is like your relationship on how you earn money.
Yep.
Right?
Your relationship with wealth.
Your relationship with income, if you will. So on the top left, just picture this. Obviously you're driving or you're hitting a squat right now. Top left is E. It's employee, right? You're an employee. You go in, you have a job, you clock in, you do the work, you clock out, you get a paycheck.
Yep.
Essentially, this is what 99% of Americans are, and it's just, and people could live their life that way their whole life, right? My mom was a teacher, and my dad was, my dad was in another quadrant, and I will tell you that in a second. But yeah, my mom was a teacher, 35 years, elementary school teacher, and just she worked for a paycheck, and and that's the way it is, right? You can live your whole life like that, and some people are content, and that's just, that's the safe and secure route.
And like you said, that's the majority of people will spend the most part of their life in that role, just on average.
And many of you gym owners started as an employee somewhere, right? I was a employee of a couple of companies, right? I was in construction and things like that. So that's the top left. The bottom left is SE, self-employed, right? And there's a big difference between self-employed and business owners. So the self-employed quadrant is what I would say the majority of gym owners fall into. You have to be involved in the day-to-day operations in order for you, the business to make money, for the business to operate, for you to earn income. You have to put the time in. Mm-hmm. Yes, your name is on the LLC documents, the corporation commission, but you personally, as the owner, have to be involved in the operation for you to make money. Self-employed. Top right, B, business owner. This is the transition where most of the gym owners we work with want to go from self-employed to business owner. Now, business owners own a business, and the business owns the systems, and the systems generate the revenue.
Correct.
Regardless if that owner is in there today, tomorrow, or ever, the business will still operate and pull a profit, generate income, and run the operations without the need of the business owner being a part of that.
Yeah, investing their time.
Yep. And then the bottom right is the letter I. So it's an investor. You've made money somewhere, you've invested that money, and that money is now creating more money for you. And you could take it down as a dividend or a pay down or whatever it is. You can liquidate your assets and generate income that way. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you live in all of them. Sometimes you do, right?
True.
Depends on what you do. And for example, I live in 3 of the 4, right? I have investments. I'm a business owner, at least at Pulse. And then I'm self-employed here at Profit. Like if I don't come in today, right? I mean, it may last a week or 2, but it's just, I'm involved in the operation and that's okay. I'm happy with that. Right. And so you have to make a conscious decision. Where do you want to be? What are you happy being a part of? And so the reason we bring this kind of cash flow, the quadrant up, is because it's very clear at that point where you live.
Yeah.
On that chart. Now that you've kind of understood that, like where are you and where do you want to be is the other question. And so the big, probably the number one thing that gym owners come to us for is they want to remove themselves out of the business so they become a true business owner and not self-employed. They don't want to own their job. They want to own the business. And that to us is the best because we definitely can get you there. I mean, I've done it. I'm doing it now. And it took years to get there, right? Because I didn't really understand half of the stuff I do now. But the nice thing is we have our accelerator program, which is essentially that is the number one thing. We're gonna help studio owners generate an income that then allows them to hire people and then move themselves out.
Yeah, and that's exactly the premise of that course. I mean, from its inception, you and I have always had that entrepreneurial mindset. We know what gym owners are looking for, and we've seen that struggle, and that is the solution that most gym owners really truly need. I would say that is probably the biggest struggle is the understanding of what it would take. What has to happen in my business, in my 4 walls? I mean, obviously I have a lot of these discovery calls with gym owners. Mm-hmm. They share that that's the desire, but they have no idea what actually, I show up for work today. What should I be working on if I want to remove myself? And that's difficult because what do? You gravitate back towards the things that you're comfortable doing, the things that and then we find ourselves down the road still on the training floor 40 hours a week or 25 hours a week. The business itself, the needle's barely moving forward, barely progressing. Growth is whatever referrals we get this month. And I mean, and I get it because there is no path.
There's a lot to do.
Yeah, well, absolutely. I mean, we've talked over and over and over about the number of hats, that you have to wear as a gym owner. But with that being said, it's not like there's a roadmap when you put your name on that, on the business that they hand you and they're like, okay, cool. Here's your path to the next step. No, there's none.
It's up to you
right?
to figure out.
Exactly. And so, but to your point, we have reverse engineered some of that. We've figured out what has allowed you as that business owner in the gym, what has ascended you into that realm versus, where you would have been or where most of our audience is, in that self-employed role still. Those systems, that gap is that bridge. That business accelerator is that bridge. Mm-hmm. And we teach the systems and the staffing structures required in order to have a self-sustaining business that operates irrespective of your time invested.
Independently of the gym owner. Well, let's be honest here. There's roles and positions in the gym business that somebody has to do.
Functions of the job, absolutely.
You have to do things, and I wish you could automate everything, but I love automation, but you just can't, right? There's human interaction. There's things that people have to click buttons and do things. I think the biggest kind of curse of the entrepreneur, at least of the ones that I can think of, is they're very alpha and like, hey, I can do it. I'm going to go do that job. But when you continue to make that decision over and over, and I'm going to do it, I'll train that client. I'll take those sales. Let me answer the phone. Let me shoot this campaign off. When you do that over and over, you're never going to remove yourself.
You become the linchpin in your business. Everything has to happen through you.
Yeah. And it's a trust thing. It's like, hey, nobody can do it as good as me. And it's a mindset shift because that was the thing that got me out. it was almost, I was almost forced out because when ProFit was taken off,
the time
it was, I had to replace myself and I had to make some quick decisions. And it was a blessing because it pushed me to be like, I got to teach these guys everything I know. Thank God I had automation. Thank God I had things written down. Thank God I could teach these folks how to do the job I was doing. But you have to replace yourself. And at the time it was Brent Moore. Brent Moore is my guy. And I brought him in and we freaking spent like weeks on end. Just do this now. All right, I'm going to take care of these calls with ProFit, do this, and then I'll come back. And that's just how we did it. And it was great because that was kind of the next, that's where he wanted to be. And I was like, man, I just need to do it. And I pulled the plug and it finally happened. And really that was the kicker. That it was a caveat.
And that's an important place to be. I've talked about the book, It Takes What It Takes. They break down, and I think I shared it with you, the difference between, he's got 4 levels, incompetent or unconsciously incompetent, consciously incompetent, unconsciously competent, and consciously competent, right? And so that's the levels of us knowing something and knowing that we know it, right? So the solution to a problem. Sometimes we know the solution, but we have no idea that we know it. Right? We just moved through. We didn't even know there was a problem where we knew that. But the best position to be in is consciously competent. You were in a position where you knew not only what had to happen, but how to execute it. Like you're in that position, you're the most capable of teaching somebody else. As you were saying that, I kind of was thinking about like what it takes to be in that position. You have to know the functions of your job incredibly well. You have to know where your time is spent. I know right now you're auditing your time. We know that's one of the things that we have our business owners do, because the first step in order to being able to take something off of your plate is to know what's on your plate first.
There you go.
Right? And so I have every one of our gym owners audit their time. And I mean, get specific. Like office time is not office time. It's send follow-up email to so-and-so. It's, follow-up call to these sales prospects. It's hyper clear. Because now we have ammunition. Now we can look at that, automate, delegate, and eliminate, find time, and then replace that time with other income producing activities or the other areas and functions that need to happen working on the business rather than in the business. So quick glimpse into how we start that process. But if you're unclear of the functions of your job, the things that you as a business owner are spending your time doing, stop. Figure that out, because that's where you're going to find that some of those tasks need to come off of your plate. You never, like to your point, you're never going to be able to focus on the things that you need to be doing if you're just constantly falling back into the routine, the day to day, and not either reminding an employee that it's their task, their responsibility, or maybe realigning roles and responsibilities and functions of the business so that it is somebody else's job.
And that's the key, right?
And that's the delegation aspect.
Yeah, the delegation. And so, yes, I'm doing this this. I was like, on Friday afternoon last week, I was like, I don't feel like I got anything done. Remember?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I think it's because I'm just always doing so much that, maybe I didn't realize. So I went back by the calendar and what did I do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday? And when I had that list, it was like 4 pages long. And it was like, well, okay, now I got to go back and highlight things that I can eliminate or delegate off or automate in some ways. But it's going to be freeing for me because I'm doing a million things. I'm doing them right now. And it's just some of the stuff you just have to do, right? But in a job like a gym or a business like a gym where things are very repeatable over and over, somebody's got to answer the phone. Somebody's got to follow up with leads. Somebody's got to do this. Somebody's got to do programming. That's never going to change.
Correct.
In my world, none of this is all different every day. It's just part of it, right? So I'm going to have some struggles, and I'm going to kind of use you, Randy, to help me kind of go through this. But yeah, it was eye-opening, one. But two, I think there's going to be some stuff on there I'm going to be able to get rid of.
And something that's been smacking me in the face is like as these businesses continue to grow, as we talk with other business owners and really get into kind of how the structure and things have to start to change as organizations get larger and larger. The who, not how mentality it's everything, right? Especially if it's a business owner trying to grow without it all happening on their plate. You have to start to think about the people that provide the solution rather than how the solution is done.
Yeah.
One of that big struggles is, and especially with entrepreneurs, is releasing the control of having to know every step of the process, every, how they're going to go do all of those things. When you're looking at an ad agency, they're not going to teach you their whole process. They're going to tell you what they're going to give you, right? If they're going to show you every single step of the way, I'm going to charge you a hell of a lot more money than I would if I'm just providing you with the service. And so I think that when it comes time to deciding where to invest your time, energy, resources, you have to have a little bit of trust and allow those either agencies, those employees, those, vendors, whatever they may be in your business, to do what they're supposed to do, and trust that it's going to be done, the right way when you initiate those relationships, but hold them accountable, right? Like anything else. But you have to have a level of trust, and it has to become, you have to learn how to kind of relinquish some of the, like even I know our struggle over the years, like you for a long time wanted to know like the finite details of stuff. And I think that it was, for you, it was almost like adding shit to your plate that you just didn't even need to know. Like
it's hard.
I know it's hard.
It's like, gosh, I need to know why. I need to know why something works sometimes.
Yeah.
For me to get it, and then I don't need to do it anymore. I think as long as I understand how it's done, like I know how to do Facebook ads.
Sure.
Like I can crush Facebook, and I could probably do better than the people doing our ads right now. I know I can't. I know I can, but I just don't want to, and Correct. I can't. And
that's the biggest thing. You're a business owner. The biggest resource that you have to manage is your time, right? So with that known, what options, all of these functions have to happen. You could be doing them. We could be doing them in-house. We could employ somebody to do them. Do we want 100% results? Do we want 99% results? Are they giving us 80% results? Like where are we happy with our exchange of value with them, right? Is it worth your time to take that back and put it on your plate? Absolutely not, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got rid of it a while back.
You know what I mean? But that is one of those hard things as a business owner, because you do have to relinquish control in certain pillars and realms. You have to. Otherwise, you're always going to be self-employed. And that the ultimate goal is to get out of that by employing the system, or instilling systems and staffing structures to handle the service.
And that's the question of this podcast. Is it your ultimate goal to get out of the operation? But that is our number one request.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
What is it that you want to do with your business? Is it grow it, work more, work less, get out, expand, scale, whatever those things are. And I think that's the first decision a gym owner has to make. Do I want to remove myself from the operation? And the question that a lot of gym owners have to ask themselves is twofold. A lot of them don't want to remove themselves because they enjoy it. Okay. Sure. And you can make that choice.
But it should be a choice.
It is right. It shouldn't be forced, right? Like a lot of gym owners are training on the floor so they don't have to hire a trainer and get that expense. Right. The other thing is if you do remove yourself from the operation, what are you going to do with that time?
Correct.
You could sit on the couch and eat potato chips. I don't think that's the mindset of the gym owner, right? The gym owner is going to probably want to go do something else with that time. I know it is for me, right? I'm here. I don't want to be here. I want to go do ProFit. ProFit's the baby, right? That's where I enjoy. I love it, right? And so I don't mind putting the hours here because I enjoy it, just like a gym owner might enjoy working in the gym. So then the question becomes, what is the end goal then after that? Because years are going to tick and decades are going to go by. I mean, I look at that picture on the wall of our grand opening. I'm like, dude, I remember that day like it was yesterday, but it's 13 years ago now. Like
I remember you and I sitting down in front of here with our laptops running, this whole business, and it blink of an eye, here we are.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It goes quick. And so you have to make a decision, maybe not today, but like soon, what the end goal is. Is it to have multiples? Is it to sell? Is it to sell your business? I was going
to bring that up. Mm-hmm.
Is it to sell your business and go do something else?
Well, and to be realistic with it, because I mean, ultimately, we know what most of you guys on average, like, what our standard audience and our client and our listeners' gyms traditionally look like. We know, the range, the incomes, typically things like that for most of you guys, based on who we've talked to. Is your end goal to have a life where you don't need to work anymore? Is selling your gym even going to do that? long before that, if you're not a business owner, do you have a business to sell? That's probably the biggest caveat. Is if you're in that position without clarity on your end goal, if you're in a self-employed role, you don't have a business to sell. You have a job to sell somebody else. And that is not a desirable, asset for somebody to pick up, right? Mm-hmm. So even at that, like you need to be forward thinking. You need to have the plan for what's next. You need to be building to that tomorrow because it's going to hit you faster than you think. All of those things, like every single day, should be directing towards that end goal. And hell, like if it's multiple locations and city, like all of them are going to be systems, right? Everybody wants, whether you sell your business, you're duplicating your business, you're franchising it, you're licensing it. It's all going to come back to the systems and the SOPs that you have. Being able to either hand it off to somebody else or show somebody that this is what creates wealth. That's the goal. That's what they want. And so if this is other than just showing up and having a job, if you want a business or you want an asset, systems are going to take it.
Yeah, you have to have systems. And that'll be another topic for another day on how to create systems, because the word is so broad. Like people just say, hey, systems, we need systems. What does that even mean? And that'll be another show. We'll do that next. Okay. So stay tuned for that one, because I got some very clear cut ways to to do it.
Sure.
But this episode, guys, hopefully it woke you up a little bit. Maybe, oh, wow, I'm living in the self-employed role. I thought I owned the business the whole time. No, you own the job.
And it's not just about the name, right? Like, think about what that means for you. Do you want to be in that position, showing up, even though your name's on the business, you're working for yourself. You're still having to show up for the paycheck. If that's not the goal, that's okay, but then you have to do what it takes to get out of it. You know what I mean? It's not just about, am I a business owner? Am I
what I mean? It's
like,
what does it mean to you and
correct.
Why? What's the reasons for it? So again, hopefully that helps, guys. Go jump in our Business Talk with Fitness Professionals group if you want to chat more. Love to hear from you. We do have a coaching program, winninggym.com/grow. If you have interest in doing those systems, it's a group coaching program where we talk about systems on every single week.
Yep.
It's our portal and everything. So hopefully that helps. Today, make a decision what you want to do and go attack. So that's it for this episode, guys. Until next time, keep changing lives. We'll see you on the next show. Bye. All right. And thank you for listening to that episode of the Built to Grow podcast, where we help gym owners win. Now, do you want to connect with me and other gym owners online? All you need to do is join our private Facebook group, Business Talk with Fitness Professionals. Just head on over to Facebook and type in Business Talk with Fitness Professionals. And when you do, we're going to give you our 10 marketing strategies 7-figure gym owners use to win. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Until then, keep building something great.